Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Daily Masters cast here with your favourite caster of all time, Hairy Muppets. So, yeah, we went back. I'm not actually sure which tournament this is from, but it is going to be a PvT coming at you. Up the top left side of the map, we do have our purple Protoss player, GoOdy. And down the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be our red Protoss player, HasuObs. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how these players do in this tournament. I do believe it is from a tournament. It may be from something else though, and yeah, we'll just have to see how this comes out, how this game comes out. And talking about other stuff, not too much happening. I've been looking up some of the games I'm planning on playing on my second channel. I definitely gonna do Left 4 Dead 2. I've checked that, and that's quite fine. Valve is not going to be pissed off at me if I start casting Left 4 Dead 2 all over the place and putting it up on YouTube. So they're very happy for people to cast those sort of games. Grid 2, I'm not too sure of. I don't think they're too happy. They're basically, yeah, I don't think they'll be too happy with me putting ads on it. At least they'll probably still be happy with me just casting it and putting it up ad free. So I may do that. And I was thinking about Need for Speed Shift, but I think they're in the same sort of boat. EA Games not too happy about people putting ads on. So I'll probably just, I mean, I've already got Grid and Need for Speed Shift, I think, or Shift 2, whatever it is. It's currently at like 80 bucks, so I don't know if we'll be buying that anytime soon, but I'm still waiting for the converter for my Xbox controller before I can even start casting those games. And yeah, once that gets down there, it'll be all sorts of fun. But definitely Left 4 Dead 2. Expect that to be coming out pretty soon. Yeah, the only main problem with that is my current mute button for turning off the microphone when I got a cough or something is space. So I'm going to have to figure out another button when I play Left 4 Dead 2 for that. But I don't expect that to be a significant problem. And yeah, Zombie Madness. I'm definitely going to be doing it on Advanced. There's no way I can do it on Expert and survive. It'll absolutely kill me, especially since I want to play with bots, because the whole human thing, I mean, playing with humans is completely overrated. So I just want to play with bots for now and be that crazy bastard out the front running around with the combat shoddy and the deagle and just doing all sorts of crap. Is it actually a Magnum? Or is it a Desert Eagle? I really can't remember what the gun is, but it's freaking awesome. It's freaking massive. And I do not believe that probe actually saw. No, the probe did not see the command center coming out. So yeah, very, very interesting. Timed that very, very nicely. Killed off the probe and then built it straight at the expansion over there. So we're going to be seeing exactly if HasuObs is going to scout this. He's setting off another probe straight away. So it looks like he is. I don't know if the Stalker is going to go the whole way. Probe plus Stalker, I mean the Stalker, it looks like he's just going to be sitting out here waiting for some more guys to come in and just sort of knocking them off as they try to come in. Which begs the question, what is going on here? There's a Twilight Council coming down, and the fact that he's guarding the entrance suggests that he's maybe going for DTs. We've got a pylon going to be coming down here at any second. Although that's, I thought that was enough for an actual expansion there. But the Stalker doing a very good job. This guy does go down. Twilight Council is finished, and we do have Blink on the way. So may not be DTs. It may just be very aggressive 4-gate type thing with Blink, which can actually be quite impressive. So we got 3 gateways coming down, as well as a forge, and we've already got a 4th gate. So we may be looking at a 4-gate with Blink play, which bit of an adaptation on the normal 4-gate sort of stuff. Go out there with a ton of Stalkers and just Blink all over the place. And it's probably going to be pretty good, I guess. The only thing that could really save GoOdy from that is a decent amount of ground forces. I mean, Marauders would be good. Tanks not really so much, because you need to be able to run around. You need mobility when dealing with blink stalkers, and tanks have no mobility at all. So, at least in siege mode, which is the only mode where they really do enough damage to make themselves worth their cost. So, the only thing that could really stave him is, like, I don't know. I don't think he's ever going to have enough Marines. So I'm thinking maybe Marauders. If he had Marauders with Stim, he could really start to think about doing something. But it looks like he's actually going to go in the back door here. Now, GoOdy does have a supply depot out there. He hasn't seen any of these forces yet. Here it goes, coming in here. And this is going to be where they blink up, I assume. He's got to be careful because these Marines could wipe out this mothership core very, very quickly. So GoOdy looks like he's just expecting a bit of harass, but a ton of tanks are going to be coming up there any second. HasuObs maybe just waiting till he's completely safe, maybe just deciding to go in the front door. And this thing is going to go down very, very soon. But HasuObs has got to be thinking there's a tank there. So instead he is going to be choosing to go up the backside. Is he? Is he? No. He really wants to get the drop on this tank. There we go. So the nice blink micro getting him up there. He's going to go around the back. He's going to try and stay away from the tanks and at the same time take out a lot of these guys. But the Marine count has actually been getting quite high. And he's starting to get to the point where he can just shred these stalkers, especially if he fights in the right place. And by that I mean within range of the siege tanks. Because, yeah, the siege tanks are going to be the deciding factor. And if it wasn't for the siege tanks, I don't know. I still think that HasuObs would have a fight on his hand, because that is just so many Marines. We do not have any upgrades for either player going on, not even starting to be researched yet, but yeah, it's just dealing with a lot of early aggression from both players. I mean, GoOdy with Marine tank, really, really nice early play to hold off these stalkers. And I mean, right now HasuObs isn't really doing that much. He may be thinking that he's stopping GoOdy from getting a third base, and he is. But at the 10-minute mark, it's not like GoOdy really needs to get it, and it's not like HasuObs is suddenly going to be able to get in and destroy anything else other than this missile turret. Yeah, so not really much going to be happening. He needs to transition into something else, and we do have, looks like storms on the way for HasuObs, so that'll be a very, very effective counter versus this mass marine. And then he's just got to have like a couple of immortals or a bunch of stalkers to take care of the tanks, and a whole bunch of zealots, which yeah, should be okay for him. Mass siege tanks not usually that awesome versus a mass Protoss army. Because yeah, the Marines end up getting taken out by storms, and then you just blink in or you just send immortals in, and the tanks do not last very long against those units. And unless they're fighting tanks, and unless they're fighting zealots and maybe stalkers, they don't quite just own units like they're doing as Zerg. Zerg, they own everything. Even roaches, which are so bulky, can get owned when you have enough tanks. But yeah, no, it's not as effective versus Protoss as they are versus Zerg, because of course Zerg has swarms of units, just tons of swarms of units. So yeah, hit them a few times with a tank, they start losing units quite quickly. With the Protoss, they tend to last a bit longer, and they can still do full damage all the way down to when they die, which does take a long time even with siege tanks. And here we go. Both players pushing out, getting the third over there. Are we getting a third over there? So HasuObs even trying to hold off there to keep GoOdy from going in. Has still not got the third base down faster than GoOdy. GoOdy has definitely got the third base down. And yeah, you can definitely see those siege tanks starting to do some damage on here. We do have a drop coming in. Couple of Hellbats. I think this will be spotted by that observer, so HasuObs should be able to get some units over there with more than enough time to see this off. There's no probes over here, so this base, no danger of losing workers there. And he's definitely going to be seeing the medevac, and the medevac just going to be jumping off again. The probe choosing to do a pylon over there. I don't know if he's trying to hide something there, but the observer actually I don't know if he's looking for that medevac or if he's going out for another mission, but I'm starting to think he didn't actually see this medevac here, and this could be a lot of problems. He could just slip right into the main base. There is a cannon, but there still could be a ton of probes getting roasted in there. The only fortunate thing is that he does not have blue flame, but all the workers coming over here, and this is going to be very, very bad when this thing does land. Let's have a look at the units for a sec. HasuObs starting to get out a decent number of High Templar. He does have Storm researched, and meanwhile just not getting a ton of units, but getting all the tech options he needs. He's getting out of 1 Immortal, deal with the tanks, he's starting to get out a couple of Zealots, and mainly just concentrating on the workers. But I mean, GoOdy has definitely got a ton of workers as well. So look at that nice feedback on the medevac, and the overcharged Nexus taking out those guys, and they were actually going for the High Templar. So that is the one thing that a Hellbat can get, which is better than a worker, and it is of course a High Templar, because they're just so frail and they just smell so nice when they get roasted. And it looks like GoOdy is actually going for mech play by the looks of it. 16 Hellbats, 10 tanks, 21 Marines, a Thor and a Viking, and 3 medevacs. He's done a really, really nice job getting his worker numbers up. HasuObs starting to catch up, but it may just be too late here because GoOdy has just got a massive, massive army, and HasuObs has been kind of slacking off when it comes to getting the army. He's got the tech, the High Templars, but High Templars are just not going to be that good anymore. They're perfect for dealing with low health Marines. They're not that good at dealing with high health Hellbats, and the tanks just putting in the backup. He needs Immortals desperately now, but he's only got about 3 of them, and they are not going to last forever. And here we go, a bunch of Marines coming in, trying to micro out the Immortals. Really, really great play. And meanwhile, this base going down, a ton of workers going to be lost, and HasuObs utterly unprepared for this very, very aggressive mech play. And GoOdy really, really got those units out in an incredibly short amount of time. Did a really, really great job. What has he got here? 5 factories. Very, very, very impressive right there. Especially since he had so many barracks at the start of the game to get out that massive amount of Marines. But here we go, just buying himself a bit of space to get the tanks up. His front runners, the Hellbats, are gradually getting knocked out. There's not very many of them left, but they're protecting the tanks, and the tanks are doing the rest of the job. Look at all these storms coming down, so ineffectual versus the mech force. Got a nice flank of Stalkers getting right into the tank lines, causing some friendly fire to take out a couple of tanks. The Immortals finally coming out, and they're going to run into the tank line, but there's just so many tanks. I feel like HasuObs is barely going to be able to send this off. Very nice play, keeping the Immortals alive for as long as he needed to. Managed to finally get the Hellbats and the Thors taken out. Then the Immortals went on cleanup duty, but the damage has been done. 71 versus 42 workers. And this base getting taken out, and there is going to be the GG. So congratulations to GoOdy for that fantastic victory right there. And unfortunately, HasuObs didn't quite see the change coming. He was fully expecting Triple M with a high amount of Marines and maybe a couple of tanks in there as well. But what he got was pure mech play from GoOdy. And he was just utterly unprepared. The storms were almost completely useless, and he had banked a lot of his resources, a lot of his time on getting those storms out. And he was lucky he had a few Immortals because they finally managed to send off that attack. Otherwise, he just would have got completely wiped out. But in the end, the economic damage was too much, and he had to give the GG. So congratulations to GoOdy for an excellent counterplay there, going straight into the mech. So many Terran players, man, they love their Triple M and they will stick to it and try and get ghosts out to counter this, try and get blah 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 to counter that. But GoOdy, it was early enough in the game that he could still tech switch, because of course he hadn't got any upgrades for his infantry yet. So he was still fairly safe. He wasn't wasting anything by going for mech at that point. He had a ton of Marines with no upgrades, so very easy for him to tech switch into mech And as you can see, he did a great job getting the upgrades for the mech out really, really fast. Getting level 2 by the time he wiped out this army. So, great job there. Thank you very much for watching this Daily Masters game. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.